But there was another weapons system of the ancient world that was shrouded in mystery. The secrets of Greek fire have been lost in time. The Ancient Discoveries team is investigating this top-secret ancient weapon, a Greek fire flamethrower that has not been used in anger for over 500 years. But tonight, Richard Windley will unleash the full power of this lethal weapon. Machines of death are usually surrounded by myth and fable, spin and propaganda perpetrated by the inventor to terrify his enemy. Today, the military's most valuable weapons are highly classified. Yet 1,000 years ago, there was a military secret more explosive than any guarded by the Pentagon today. A weapon so secret, its inventors took its mysteries to the grave.
The Byzantines were very, very worried about it becoming generally known. They really did not want this stuff being used against them.
The weapon was controlled by the Byzantine emperors, rulers of the superpower of the Mediterranean throughout the first millennium. And they used a secret weapon whose technology is now lost.
It's one of the world's greatest mysteries. For 1,000 years, the Byzantine Empire set fire to every warship that tried to take Constantinople.
Message fragments and ancient texts dating from the 7th century contain horror stories of a terrifying chemical compound known as Greek fire.
We still don't know what Greek fire is, but we do know that it scared the living daylights out of the Bulgarians, the Russians, the Arabs, the Turks for 1,000 years. It was one of the greatest weapon systems in the history of warfare because nobody penetrated the secret, nobody found an antidote to it, and it continued working into the age of gunpowder.
Greek fire could be used in a range of weapons systems. The agent could be used as a fuel for flamethrowers, or even in ancient incendiary grenades. Yet the secrets of how to make the substance have been lost for centuries. Poring over forgotten Byzantine manuscripts, leading model maker Richard Windley is deciphering Greek fire's hidden recipe.
There's all sorts of different recipes have been mooted for what this could be, but a lot of them seem as though they're too viscous, too heavy to actually be used with any kind of range. You need an awful lot of pressure and power to project a thick liquid over relatively short space. So we're going with the theory that they would have used some form of naphtha, which is a kind of naturally occurring substance which is similar in flammability to modern petroleum.
As a grenade, it would have been used much as it is today, in explosive devices thrown by a soldier into a mass of enemies.
Throughout the 20th century, really, the grenade has been one of the main shock weapons of infantry troops. But in fact, some of the first grenades were over 1,000 years earlier than this, probably dating back to Byzantine times, if not earlier, when flammable materials were placed inside vessels.
The grenades contained Greek fire, and its main constituent, naphtha. Naphtha is a naturally occurring organic chemical from the same family as petroleum.
The naphtha would have been a burning agent which would have been very sticky and would adhere to clothes and weapons and armour and pretty much anything that it came into contact with, making it difficult to extinguish.
The device became a weapon of terror. The ceramic casing of the grenade could easily smash on impact, causing the lethal contents to explode all over enemy troops, weapons, and equipment.
I think it's fairly easy to imagine people bursting into flames, screams of people being charred and burned, their skin on fire. It would have been a devastating weapon.
For the first time in centuries, Richard is going to test the model.
It's about 2/3 full to give it a little bit of oxygen so that it can flare when it lands.
Thousands of naphtha incendiary grenades would have caused battlefield panic.
If 1,000 of these were suddenly hurled at one time onto the enemy, the effect would be fairly devastating.
But nothing could prepare enemy troops for Greek fire's ultimate death machine. The ancient stories tell of a naval superweapon able to set fire to the air itself. There is evidence of a weapon that delivered Greek fire using flamethrower technology 1,000 years ago. Richard Windley believes he has uncovered the secrets of its design.
The device I've got here is very similar to a two-cylinder force pump which was invented by Heron of Alexandria. The reservoir on this reconstruction is at the back of the piece here, and I'm guessing it probably holds somewhere between 3 and 4 gallons. There's a lid there obviously to make sure that it's protected from sparks and any kind of stray forms of ignition.
Richard has crafted the model with military precision. The piping must withstand pressures of 100 pounds per square inch. The twin pumps will be powered by Richard using the handle, exactly as the ancient pyromarines would have done. This drives the Greek fire into the system.
It's then forced through the pipe, all the way along this delivery pipe here, through a joint at the top which is pivoted so they could actually direct the fire to some extent, and then finally to the jet itself, and this is going to give us the burst of flame.
Richard double-checks every inch. He will be operating a weapon with the same amount of flammable agent as a Vietnam War napalm canister, and it will be on fire.
We've set up a tank of water. We're going to put a wooden target which is going to represent the side of a boat. We're hoping that we'll be able to get a projection of flame from this device somewhere between 20 and 30 feet.
However, this is estimation. No one has operated a Greek fire flamethrower in anger for over 500 years. After hours of safety checks, the deadline has arrived to put the Greek fire machine to the test. This is the most dangerous experiment Richard has ever carried out. For his safety, Richard will be relying on the wisdom of the ancient Byzantine engineers. Exactly the same as in a modern flamethrower, the machine employs a burning taper in front of the nozzle. It is this wick that ignites the flammable agent as it shoots toward the enemy. Now, Richard must put his months of careful planning to the test. Richard's replica of a Greek fire machine is an awe-inspiring success. A raging inferno leaps over 20 feet to engulf the ship's side in fires of over 800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, that was absolutely amazing. From where I was standing, that looked totally devastating. It must have looked even more dramatic if it was coming actually straight for you. For something that already would have flammable materials aboard, that thing would be torched by now. I think we can see from this demonstration why everyone in the ancient world was absolutely terrified of this weaponry.
Greek fire is so potent that it continues to burn under the water. Over a millennium after Greek fire was first discovered, the Ancient Discoveries team has proved that the Byzantines did have a device able to control its amazing firepower.